Hi, my name is Jodi Takhar and I am a registered therapeutic counselor and a clinical hypnotherapist. And if you're here, then you found me somewhere, and I realized I've never explained who I am. So I decided to do that. Now, I have a coach that tells me that, he makes me laugh, that nobody cares. And nobody cares who you are. Nobody cares how you got here. Everybody just wants to know that you can do what they need you to do. And you can help them find their way. And while that I agree with on some level, I also think it's important that you kind of know that I have a story, right? And I don't know whether that's my ego or whether that's just my need to connect with you guys. So I'll tell you a little bit about my story and how I got here, and a little bit about how I work. So I grew up in Toronto. I live in Vancouver now, and I have been in Vancouver longer than I was in Toronto now. So this is like home again, right? I grew up in an alcoholic home, and my dad was, for a long time, was a very functioning alcoholic. Whatever that means, functioning alcoholic. He's still an alcoholic. And he worked really, really hard, and I learned a lot of my work ethic from him. I learned how to do a lot of really great things from my dad. Even though he wasn't around very much, I recognized on a really deep level now that he was always doing the best he could. And my mom, who was also doing the best she could, was so busy keeping a lid on everything that I just kind of flew under the radar most of my life, most of my childhood for sure. And that taught me a lot of things about myself that have served me. It also taught me a lot of things about myself that hurt me. And I'm not blaming my parents at all. I think this is just what happened. I have a really strong belief that my parents always did the best they could with what they had. Always, always, always. And I also believe that I learned everything I learned and felt everything I felt and created the messages I created for a reason. Because without all those messages, without all that teaching, without good and bad and not functional, that I would not be the person I am today. So I started drinking at 12 and had quite illustrious drinking career for a long time. Well, what felt like a long time anyways. And it started that it really worked well for me. Alcohol was my first solution to all the angst that was going on inside of me. Not feeling enough, not feeling heard, not feeling useful, not validated, not a lot of nots in my world. I spent a lot of time by myself. I spent a lot of time not feeling a part of and not feeling like I fit in. I heard it once said that I kind of felt like this person who would stand in the backyard and wait for the mothership to come and get me because I just didn't feel like I belonged anywhere. And that was true for me for a very long time, probably until my probably till my 30s. I got sober at 24. I moved to Vancouver at 22, got sober at 24, and found recovery, and it was the best thing that ever happened to me. Because through my recovery, I found this world of healing, and I found this world of helping other people, and I truly found my jam. I am an empath. I am someone who feels very deeply. I am also someone who is a pretty straight shooter and tells you how it is in a way that I hope you can receive it. My job is never to be critical or to judge. I don't get to judge you. You are your own person. Until I stand in your shoes and walk in your skin, I have no business judging you. What you've experienced is not up for discussion or for me to judge. My job is to help you find your peace and your place in the world and heal the wounds that you want to heal. When I found recovery, I just came alive. I didn't know that I could feel that good and feel like I belonged. And there were lots of moments where I didn't feel like I belonged. I felt alone in the crowd a lot when I was uncomfortable. Recovery gave me my path of going to counseling school. I was a foster parent first for a lot of years and loved it, but burnt out. And my kids are amazing, and I love my kids. And worked with a lot of young women and young girls who were pretty amazing. Even in their darkest and in their acting out and all those places, they were really amazing people. I then went to counseling school, and I went to counseling school so I could learn how to support my girls better. And through that, I've ended up opening a private practice. I stopped fostering, opened a private practice, and do a lot of different things. I work in the addictions field sometimes. Sometimes I work and I also have a private practice, and I do lots of different things in my private practice. From there, I went to work with families. I've worked with several agencies over the years, and really found my jam working with families and helping them support their addicted children and their newly recovering children, and created programs and all sorts of stuff. And then from that, I realized that often parents have their own stuff, right? This is where I started really getting in touch with the part of me that realized, like, wow, like I was a mom now and 2 girls, and realizing that I bring a lot of my parents' stuff with me to parent my kids. And so of course other parents do that too. We all do it. It's multi-generational. We pass down what we learn. So I went to hypnotherapy school, and best hypnotherapy school ever. If you're interested, text me or email me and I'll give you all the info. Sidebar, sorry. So I went to hypnotherapy school and really got to dig in deep to my wounds and figure out where things have come from and why I am the way I am and why I do the things I do. That has progressed, and like hypnotherapy is totally my jam. I love it so much, and have progressed into doing some conversational hypnotherapy, which is like a whole new level of stuff. That conversational hypnotherapy and advanced conversational hypnotherapy and master's advanced conversational hypnotherapy are methods of working that get into that deep crunchy stuff. So when I have a trigger and I react to something my kids say or do, that allows me to go back and be like, what the hell just happened? And I get to really work through my shit. And I don't know how else to describe it other than work through my shit. You know, it takes me through relationship stuff. It takes me through stuff around my marriage, my dissolved marriage. I can work with the triggers around friends and family was a big one for me. I had to figure out how to navigate the world with a family who didn't understand me at all. And now they don't really understand me anymore, but I don't need them to, because it's okay that they don't. So if you're interested in how I work, then maybe we should have a call. Maybe we should have a conversation. One of the things I know about advanced conversational hypnotherapy and how it works is it works quite quickly, and it can get to the root of the issue very fast, very, very fast. And I've worked with a couple of people just doing practice sessions on me, and solved things that were like, oh my God, how did that happen? And one of the things was for me was I didn't like to be seen. I did not like to be seen at all. And I worked with a gentleman named Paul, and he was brilliant. And he took me back to why I don't like to be seen. And I don't like to be seen because of some shame that I was feeling. And that's a whole topic for a whole other day. But we got there in an hour. And undid that. And if I hadn't undone that, I wouldn't be doing this. So that's kind of how it works. And I can have a deeper conversation with you at some point if you'd like. I just know that this stuff is brilliant. This stuff blows my mind, really. It really blows my mind. So if you want more information, or you're just curious, you can check out my YouTube channel, or you can set up a strategy call. Love to do that with you, have a conversation and see what happens. I will tell you more about my story as things kind of unfold, and because there's a lot of really big stuff in there, but there's also, you know, little nuances and stuff like that, and things that you could probably relate to. Anyway, I hope you're having a fantastic day, and I look forward to working with you.